All right, well, we'll see what we can work with on that. And just a reminder to, if you haven't already muted, go ahead and mute yourself. And of course, if you need to say something, then unmute and holler at me. But let's go ahead and get started. All right, so I've got the blocks set up. Oh, you know what I'm missing is my blanket on my chair. I knew I was forgetting something. And either a blanket on your chair or under your feet on the floor to try to get better ergonomics here with the approximate 90-degree angle of your torso to your thighs to your shins, 90 and 90. And just as close as you can to that. And if whatever you're gonna use to slide your feet on the floor, just have those nearby. So I'm on carpet, so I've got furniture sliders, but paper plates work just as well. If you're on some sort of a hard surface, a towel or your blanket, if you're using your blanket down there under your feet will work great. All right, so let's start with house breathing. Some of you know what that is. And otherwise, I'm going to explain it for the rest of us. So house breathing is imagining your torso from your shoulders to your hips is your house. And you can have, it could be just 1-story house, but we're going to start with a 2-story house. And as you continue to play with this visualization, you can add more floors. I'll talk about that in a little bit, but let's just start with the belly as, like, say, the basement and the rib cage as the main floor. And we've got rooms in our house, so we're going to put a room on the left side and the right side of both the basement and the main floor, and a room in the front of the house and a room in the on either side, in the front of the house and on either side in the back of the house. So basically 4 rooms on the main floor, 4 rooms in the basement. And you got that pipe that comes down the middle like a chimney, but this pipe both puts air in and takes air out like a vacuum. And so it's sort of this pipe that cleans the house. So, and you can take that pipe and turn it toward one room or toward the whole, open it toward the whole floor, or the front 2 rooms or the back 2 rooms. You can adjust that pipe however you like. The opening of the hearth is adjustable and can go down or up as the case may be, if you're going down to the basement or up toward the first floor. And those of you who played with this with me before, we've been playing with this, if you were joining me last term, well, not the summer term, but the one before that, and you want to try multiple floors, you can make the basement, divide the belly area into 2 floors, the navel as the dividing line. So from the navel down is like the sub basement, and then the navel to the rib cage. You can divide the rib cage into half, 2 floors, the lower ribs and the upper ribs, or 3 floors if you want to go for more, lower ribs, mid ribs, and upper ribs. So that would be, you could do 5 floors, each floor with 4 rooms. So you can just begin to play with this. And I recommend playing with this every day. And so what we're going to do is just play with that pipe opening to a whole floor. And if you're new to this, do the whole floor at once. Otherwise, try just the next step would be to just do the front rooms or just the back rooms. And then to refine it even more, you're going to adjust the pipe opening to only blow in and out of one room at a time. So you can start to play with that as I continue to talk about this house breathing. So normally the back of the house is more difficult to get the breath in and out of. They're the rooms that you don't go in very often, and they stay sort of dark, dank, dirty, however you want to visualize it. And you're going to use that pipe, that breath in and out of there, blowing breath in and out to sort of help air it out and clean it out. And some rooms, usually the front rooms, are more open and airy. You've got the blinds up, the curtains are blowing in the breeze. It's nice and airy in there already. you're in there all the time, always cleaning, so those rooms are cleaner. So your job is to notice which rooms are the cleanest rooms and which rooms need to be aired out more. And your practice then, if you get a daily breath practice going, that would be your practice to get the rooms more balanced. So all of the rooms feel open and airy eventually. And of course, playing with those rooms in the back or wherever your rooms are in your house that are more closed off is difficult. And so if you're already having, a difficult week with other stressors in your life, don't play with the difficult rooms. You could sort of, on a spectrum, rate your rooms from the most difficult rooms to breathe in to the easiest rooms that are open and airy. And so if you're having a stressful week, don't play with the ones way over on this side, but maybe in the mid-range somewhere. Don't play with your easy rooms either, because you're not going to be helping to balance yourself. All right, let's just take another couple of breaths here. All right, and we'll play with that more as the weeks go on. But right now we'll start with some movement with the breath. So on your inhale, let's do some movement with the hands or arms. So you can simply do palm flips, palms up on the inhale, palms down on the exhale. This is rotating just basically at the wrist, which moves the lower arm. So from the shoulder to the elbow stays relatively quiet. And then you can still keep that upper arm relatively quiet, but swing the forearms, your lower arm, out a little bit more away from the body. Inhale, they swing out. Exhale, they come back, palms down. And then now we'll get the upper arm involved. And you just go further and further as long as this feels comfortable for your body. So some folks have shoulder that complain to them every now and then. And so don't move into any range of motion that bothers your shoulder. You just want to tease into those joints that talk to you without making them, basically don't let them talk to you. Let them stay calm and quiet. So you can take as much range of motion as you like with your breath. Inhaling up and out and exhaling, bring it back in and down. Let's do one more arm move. All right. You might notice that just whatever that was, 6 or 8 arm movements starts to get the heat up in the body. So anytime you're cold, just wave your arms around a little bit, and that'll get your heat up. Next, we'll do some spinal movements. So we'll start with the head dropping down and the spine moving back toward the seat behind you, the back, exhaling. And then on the inhale, do a little back bend. Squeeze your shoulder blades together there at the end. Exhale, relax, rounded spine. Inhale, a back bend, and you can make this movement quite small or quite large. Smaller if you tend toward back issues, and larger if it feels good to you. All right, a few of these, which we call cat-cows in a chair. All right, and the next spinal movements, we'll do our laterals. We'll start with the hands on the hips. Inhale, lengthen the spine, and on the exhale, the lean over to one side. Exhale, inhale, right back up. Long spine, exhale, other side. Inhale, back up. And we'll repeat, and you can drop that lower arm down the chair leg. Inhale, back up. Second side. If that arm is going low enough and you've got blocks handy, go ahead and take your arm to your block. We're going to stay here, so your hand's either on the chair leg, the hip, or the block. Keep breathing. Squeeze those shoulder blade tips toward each other a little bit more. That might feel like it rolls the chest toward the ceiling. That's fine. You can get a deeper stretch through that side waist by adding arm movement. That other arm can reach up and over and plant that hip back down. So the hip likes to lift. So keep that hip down. And then we'll put it in reverse and come on back up. And the other side. Find a place for that lower arm to rest. Begin to squeeze the shoulder blades together. You're lengthening through that side waist. Keep that hip down. Add the arm to deepen the stretch. If it's already deep enough, don't add the arm. Another breath here. See if those shoulder blades will squeeze together a little bit more. And then reverse back out. So most of my instructions are to deepen the stretch. If you come into it at the beginning and it's already deep enough, don't listen to me. Just let what I say go in one ear and out the other. All right, we're going to take the final of the spinal movements. Final spinal. Twist. Inhale the arms up about shoulder height, and on the exhale, bring opposite hand to knee, and the other hand can just go back behind. Inhale, come right back to center. And exhale, other side. So you might notice we kind of go in and out of a movement a couple times before we hold it. We'll go in and out of this twist a couple times. That's just to ensure that you can get in and out of it and lets the body know what's coming up. If it's comfortable when you're in the pose and you want to stay, we're going to stay now. If it's not comfortable, you keep moving in and out. If it's comfortable to stay here, squeeze those shoulder blades together. Keep both hips planted down evenly. And you can turn your head toward the side wall or even going toward looking at the back wall. That front shoulder likes to kind of round, so squeezing the shoulder blades together will keep a better posture in your shoulders. And then exhale, and on your inhale, unwind back to center, arms go up. Second side. Staying if comfortable. Sometimes one side's comfortable, but the other isn't. If you get a stitch, sometimes people get a stitch in the ribs in either the laterals or the twists. Come right back out and in, and see if you can just go in and out of it to ease that stitch out of the body. Head can go into the twist if comfortable. Exhale, and on the inhale, come back to center, arms up. And then exhale, the arms down. We're going to land the elbows down on the thighs. So bring your elbows to rest on your thighs. And we'll round the spine a little bit here. Look down. And on the inhale, hands to the knees and take a little back bend. Let the elbows go straighter and straighter as you squeeze your shoulder blades together. And then exhale, back down, elbows to the thighs. So sort of like a cat-cow movement here, but a little bit deeper. I'm going to just show this from the side. So elbows to thighs, kind of a rounded spine, but it's more a flexion at the hip here. And then the inhale is to kind of scoop that back in as you stretch your arms straighter. So you're working for a back bend there. And an exhale is more of a forward fold. All right. Come on back up, all the way back up. And we're going to come down to the feet and legs now. So we'll start with the feet. Lift the heels up, let the toes stay tucked under, and then heels down, lift the toes up. And go back and forth, those two movements. So you get a little stretch across the top of the ankle when you lift your heels, and you get a stretch into the back of the calf and into the Achilles heel there, your calcaneal tendon. Back and forth, those two movements a couple times. And then go ahead and bring your feet up on whatever you're going to slide your feet on. We'll start with just one leg at a time. Let's have the heel down and flex the foot and stretch the leg out and bend the knee and bring the leg back in. You can bring the leg further in underneath you if you would like a deeper stretch. Inhale out, exhale, bend the knee. Inhale, stretch out. Exhale, back in. One more. And we'll go to the other side. The heel stays down and a little bit, the foot's a little bit flexed. Inhale, stretch out, exhale back in. Go with your breath. So my breath may be faster or slower than yours. So you might be doing more or less, the number of repetitions. That's okay. If you can, make it approximately even on both sides. That's what I'm trying to do. It's hard to talk and keep count at the same time though. All right, we're going to do basically the same thing, but we'll take it out on different spokes going out to the side. So we start to get into the inner thigh and turn the foot out slightly. So don't have the toes going straight up, but a little bit out. That'll come into the inner thigh a little bit more. Inhale out, exhale in. And then we're going to come into that IT band there by turning the foot in and stretching the leg out. If you can get a stretch in there, keep going out. On the inhale, exhale, comes back in. All the way back, work your way back up those spokes up to the front. And even on that front one, turn the leg in. All right. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Take your time if you're still finishing up. Don't hurry. Inhale out with the turn out of the foot, so you come into that inner thigh. And you really should feel it in the thigh. Don't overstretch anything in the knee. And I have to slide side to side on my chair because this chair has a little bit of a scoop with a piece of wood on the corner there. It doesn't feel so comfortable. When you get all the way out with the inner thigh stretch, turn the toes in, turn the whole leg in for the outer leg stretch. Working your way back up the spokes, back up to the top. Right, and even at the top, you can get your other leg out of the way and really go for that stretch from the hip down into the leg. And come on back up. If both legs can go out at the same time, you can kind of lean back on your hands on your chair. Keep your chair balanced. Both legs out on the inhale and exhale back in. All right, and then we're going to take the legs out and keep them out there. And you don't need anything to slide your feet on for this next one. So if you'd like, you can ditch them. It won't hurt if you keep them. And can you see that I've just stacked one foot on top of the other? My heel's just sort of resting between my toes, kind of flexing my toes a little bit. All right, we're going to go into those IT bands again here by rolling the legs toward one side and back to center. So I'm taking the toes so that the top leg is what's getting the stretch through that side one. So going that way, not this way, in other words. All right, and then change the stack of your legs and feet. Put the other foot on top, and same thing. And the breath work is to exhale when you twist, inhale back to center. And usually we do this one when folks are lying flat on their back, legs out, and stack the legs so the whole legs can go a little easier. Actually, more arm and wrist work in the chair. So we're going to release those wrists a little bit. Squeeze, touch the pinky finger to the thumb and pinky finger touching, and turn the hands downward and the backs of the hands together. And then from there, squeeze the shoulder blades together and slide the thumb down the pinky. Just a couple times. Shoulder blades squeezing together. All right, and then just shake the wrist, shake the fingers, shake the arms. All right, let's come back to the legs and bring your sliders back in. We're going to scooch to the corner of the chair with that IT band in mind. So put the toes on your slider So the toes are a little tucked under, if that's comfortable. And if it's not, your toes can be any way you like. But we're going to take that knee down roughly below the hip. And then you can start to stretch that leg back more and more, coming into the front of the hip here, the hip flexors, and release. And then come toward the screen and release. And then on an angle, somewhere in between, going straight back and toward the screen. So we'll roughly repeat those spokes of the stretch that we were doing before. So before we did the spokes more at the front to the side, so maybe that's sort of 12 to 1 to 3 o'clock kind of thing. Or if you're going the other way, you went 12 to 11, 10 to 9, depending on which leg you got in front there, I think. And now we're doing 3 to 6 or 9 down to 6, you know, which leg you're working. So you can take even different ones. All right. And then in the front, come to situate yourself right in front. And we're going to take that knee inside, let your foot slide back anywhere. The knee's rolling in, and then bring that knee back out, all the way out. In, and trickle it down on kind of underneath you and back out. Not sure if I can show that any better. So the hip rotators are rotating my thigh in, and then I stretch it back and back in and out. Really getting into as much rotation in your hip that your hip allows. And I'm trying to exaggerate this movement, so you may not want to do as much range of motion as I'm doing. It's kind of hard to, you know, get a good visual with just the camera. All right, let's switch it out to the other side. So get your other leg out of the way and turn that one leg in and stretch it back. Bring it back in and roll it out. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. All right, getting into those hips. Lost my other slider. All right, let's come back to center with both feet on your sliding surface. And inhale, slide the feet out. Exhale, back in. And repeat. All right. Keep the legs out next time they go out, and we're going to point and flex there. Take the feet a little bit apart and turn the feet in and out. All right, and then back to square, and you slide your feet back in and point and flex once again, and a couple of bend and straighten on the whole leg. Exhale, the knees bend. Inhale, they go towards straight. All right, one more stretch. Take one leg out. You don't need the slider under that leg. The other foot you're going to place on the shin, or you can it can be down toward the ankle or up higher, or even up past the knee. Don't push on the knee though. So either above the knee or below the knee. I'm going to go just below the knee. It's a little more comfortable. And take the opposite hand to the bent knee on top, and you're going to draw that knee over. Again, we're looking for a stretch here in this IT band. And then we're going to release back to neutral. So exhale, come into that twist. Inhale, release. If this hip comes off the chair a little bit, that's fine. That'll actually deepen the stretch for you. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. And then while we're here, we're going to change arms and let the leg drop out and in. So it's going to go out on the inhale, exhale, close up. Inhale out, exhale in. All right, and we'll change legs. Find a comfortable place for your foot to rest on your leg. And on the exhale, come into a little twist. Inhale, release. Keep going. I'm looking for a stretch into that outer hip. And then the other way. Inner thigh stretch. I mean, this is all those hip rotators. The hip rotators are what starts to atrophy as we get older. So as much as you can get in there and get those guys rotating for you, because most of the day we only use the muscles that have our legs sitting, standing, walking. We hardly ever turn our leg out or in. So that's what I'm focusing on here, really waking those hips up. So maybe you can just pause for a second and just feel, do the hips feel more awake, more worked, tingly, heat? What do the hips feel like? And so that last one that we did with the leg turning out, if it was comfortable for you to bring the foot on top of the knee, on the thigh, that is, on the top side of the knee, go ahead and do that, and then bend your bottom leg, and that will get into those hip rotators as well. And you can adjust where the foot is or ankle on your thigh, and this knee might be high or low. Let it move a little bit up toward the chest on the exhale and release it down on the inhale. And I'm kind of got my hands holding the lower leg there to help with that movement. And then you can slide your bottom leg out and let the other leg slide off. And changing legs, slide that leg up. See if it'll come all the way up past the knee, the thigh side, and then bend the bottom leg. And then we're going to play with this lower leg. Kind of looks like a seesaw, doesn't it? Exhale, the knee lifts up. Inhale, the leg goes down. You can also get a stretch into the hip by leaning forward and up. I didn't do this on the other side, so we'll go back and do that. So that leaning forward often gets right into this bent kneed hip, the top leg's hip. And if comfortable, you can come in and stay there. Let your hands and arms rest anywhere you like. They can stay holding the leg. If you don't push too hard, especially not on the knee side, but be more on the lower leg shin bones. And just to stay for a couple of breaths. And then straighten that bottom leg and slide the leg off. And let's do that last one on this side as well. Slide that foot up on top of the knee, above the knee, and then bend the bottom leg. I kind of went into that pretty fast for you, sorry. And then leaning forward to come into that hip. And I feel that in my hip, so hopefully that's not too deep for some of us to do. All right, and then back up, and that's my hip that tends to be tighter, so of course I feel it on that side. All right, and then we'll unwind out of that and just give the legs a little shake, rattle, and roll. All right, let's come into sun salute here. Actually, you might want to keep your feet on the sliders. All right, so exhale. This will be our start position, and then inhale, let the arms go up the full range of motion that you can do for your shoulders today. And then exhale, we'll come elbows to thigh. You can go further down if you want, hands toward your feet. And then loop your hands behind one leg, one thigh, and lean back, bringing that leg up for a lunge. And then back down. And we'll take downward dog in a chair, stretching the legs out. And push into the back to the chair seat as though to lift yourself up, just a little arm strengthener there. And then bend the knees, come into the back bend. And then let the legs go straight, your spine in neutral, stretch the arms up and back in and bend the knees, hands interlaced behind the other leg. Lunge, you can stretch that foot forward if you like. And then foot back down, lean over the legs, and you can go further if you like. Exhale, inhale all the way up, and exhale back to start. We'll do that again. Inhale the arms up, whatever range of motion feels good for you. Exhale, forward fold. One leg's coming with us in the lunge. Downward dog. Legs go out, a little arm strengthening there. Add a back bend. The other version of down dog. And lunge on the other leg. Fold forward. And all the way up, arms up as high as comfortable for you. And back to start. All right, so that is a general overall body warm up. We're going to take some standing poses now in a chair. So you'll need one slider in the front, and I'm angled off on the corner of the chair. And then any of those spokes that we played with before, especially toward the back side, pick one of those, one that you can hold and feels comfortable for you. I'm gonna do this one, and if comfortable, you can take your heel down so the whole foot's on the floor. And that needs to be comfortable, not overstretching the outer ankle. And then turn toward your front knee, exhale. And on the inhale, arms up anyway, comfortable for you for warrior one. Then turn toward the screen, take your arms out to the sides for warrior two. Elbow to thigh on that front arm. Other hand to the hip for flank stretch. We'll stay here, keep breathing, squeeze those shoulder blades together. All right, and then we're going to come back on an inhale to warrior two. Torso comes perpendicular to the floor, arms out parallel to the floor. We'll stay here for a breath. And on an inhale, sweep the arms up, turn toward your front knee for warrior one. Keep breathing. And then relax the arms down and let the back knee bend. And we'll walk it around to the other side. Oops, don't forget your slider. And pick one of those spokes that's comfortable for you. And let that heel go down if comfortable. Turn toward your front knee. Back leg is as straight as it's willing to go today. Turn towards your front knee. Exhale. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Flank stretch, elbow to knee. Oops, we're going to just keep that hand at the hip. Keep breathing here. Squeeze those shoulder blades in toward each other. And on an inhale, bring it up to warrior two. Next inhale, warrior one, turning. And then bend everything back in and face forward. And we'll take a cat-cow here. Exhale, a rounded spine, the chin drops down, and inhale into a little back bend. All right, we're going to repeat those standing poses and add one on. So back to the first side, put on the slider, slide your back leg into any of those positions comfortable for you. Heel can be down if comfortable. You can certainly keep it up. You don't want to overstretch that outer ankle, so whatever feels comfortable for you. Turn towards your front knee. Exhale. Inhale the arms up for warrior one. Exhale, turn sideways, warrior two. Next exhale, come into plank stretch. Keep breathing. Back up to warrior two, sorry. And then we're going to take it into the back arch, exalted warrior. And back to warrior two. And we'll come to warrior one on an inhale. Exhale, back in. Second side. Set the back leg. Turn toward the front knee. Exhale. Inhale, arms up. Warrior two. Exhale. Plank stretch on an exhale. On an inhale, we'll come back to warrior two. And exalted warrior, drop the back arm to the back leg. And back to warrior two. And on an inhale, warrior one. Exhale out of it. Facing forward again. Cat-cow. All right. And back to the first side. I forgot what I was going to add on. I'm going to add on something. Maybe it'll come to me. Back leg set. Turn to face the front leg. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, warrior two. Let's do exalted warrior here. And back up to warrior two. Plank stretch. We're going to add the arm. Arm can stretch over by the ear, up toward the ceiling, anywhere you like, any range of motion. Put it in reverse. And come on up. You're going to turn toward the front leg, bring your arms in front. And opposite hand to the knee. The other hand's going to go back toward the chair seat or chair back into a little twist. And then come up into warrior one. And out of it. And everything out of it. All right, other side. Set the back leg. Facing the front knee. Inhaling up. Warrior two. Exalted warrior. Back to warrior two. Plank stretch. Adding the arm if comfortable. Back to warrior two. Back arm joins the front arm. And then drop that arm to the front knee. So opposite hand to the front knee. And turning into the twist. On an inhale, warrior one. And release out of it. And then back to face front. And let's bring both sliders in to those in a moment. Cat-cow here. And then feet to the sliders, both legs out, and exhale and back in. You can add the arms if you like. After doing all those twists and laterals, it's good to do a bunch of symmetrical and dynamic movements where both sides of the body are doing the same thing. And then we'll take just that cat-cow movement again. You can, on the exhale, raise the heels. So you bring your knees toward you a little bit more, like you're going toward fetal position. And on the inhale, feel free to lift the toes, and not the whole foot lifting, just the toes lifting off the floor to get that little flexion of the toes during the back bend. Exhale the heels. Inhale the toes. And then just keep the feet down. No movement of the heels lifting or toes lifting. Keep them quiet. All right, and then come to neutral. We're going to just swing the arms out on the inhale and back down, palms down on the exhale. And all the way in, just palm flips. Inhale, the palms flip up. Exhale, palms down. Next time the palms are up, hold right there and touch thumb and index finger on both sides. Touch the thumb to the index finger. Just take a breath there. And then go to the next finger, thumb touching the middle fingers. And then next finger, ring fingers. And pinkies. Just a breath or two or more at each finger. And go back to the index fingers, thumb touching the index finger. And you can either just stay touching, or you can slide the thumb down toward the base of the finger and back to the tip. Maybe a couple times, just sliding. And the visualization is that the thumb is cleaning the finger. And so go down different lines down the inside, outside of the finger, and then end back at the tip and just give a little flick. And then bring your thumb to the middle finger and sliding, cleaning, sliding up and down the finger. When you got that finger all nice and clean, give it a flick, and the ring finger. And give that one a flick when you're cleaned up, got it all clean. And do the last finger, your pinkies. And give that a flick. We're going to use the clean index finger now to clean the thumb. So use your index finger, let your index finger slide up and down the thumb. All different lines down the thumb. And give the thumb a flick. It's interesting to flick different fingers, isn't it? A different feeling in the body. All right, and then just resting in your chair. If you're still okay to lean back into the chair, great. Anytime your spinal muscles get tired, you lean back in the chair. We're going to go back to that house breathing that we did in the beginning of class. So again, visualize that central pipe, really your trachea, but imagine it's magical. It can slide up and down to different floors, and it can open or blow in air in and withdraw air out, vacuum the air back out in any location. So begin to clean house. And sometimes the asana practice helps clean a room out that you that felt a little more, dusty before. So see if you can tell if you got anything cleaned out just from all those spinal movements and breathing. Hopefully the rooms feel easier to get air in and out of. Just a couple more breaths. Make them count into some room that you need. And when you're all done, go ahead and lean back in your chair. Hands and arms resting anywhere you like. Eyes can be closed if comfortable. Just relax. Don't pay attention to the breath. Just relax. How relaxed can you get your eyes, your cheeks, your jaw, across the forehead and back, neck muscles, into the shoulders. Let your head do a little bobble. Relax the shoulders and down the front body, down the back body, into the hips. And hips down the legs into the feet. Oops, I forgot to do shoulders, down the arms into the fingers. Go up and do those first. And then do your hips down your legs into your feet. I like to do it from the top down. And the more relaxed you can get the whole body, it should feel like your feet actually get a little bit heavier on the floor. See if you can sense that. Sometimes you sense it on one side. I feel it more on my left side. So I'm really going to focus on relaxing my right hip and down my right leg and see if I can get that right leg. Just really concentrating more on that side for me. For you, it might be even, and then just keep doing both sides. Or it might be the left. And you're more than welcome to stay there, relaxing a little bit more. And whenever you're ready to come out, you'll just bring a little bit of movement. Let's go back to the hands, do palm flips, and then maybe some cat-cow movements. And as you're ready, you open the eyes. You can still stay there resting as long as you like. And that's the way to come out of it whenever you're ready. So I thank you for joining me today. Namaste.